Welcome to the Rockabye Revenue Podcast with me, Abby Watson. I'm a mum of 4 and a business strategist, and I train people to become hypnobirthing teachers. In the last decade, I've built a thriving baby business that grew beyond my wildest dreams. This podcast is for you if you run a business or dream of running a business in the birth and baby industry. You want to change lives whilst making more money. I'm talking about creating sustainable income whilst being present for the people that matter most. I believe for our baby businesses to have the impact we desire, we must be rewarded. On this podcast, expect me to share actionable strategies without the jargon. I've been where you are. I've built a business while raising 4 little ones, and now I'm here to help you turn your passion into profit while creating the life you've always dreamed of. So let's get started. Hello! I hope you are having the best week, my lovely one. Welcome to another episode of Rockabye Revenue Podcast. This podcast is for you if you are thinking of entering the baby industry, or perhaps you're already in it and you want to do big things. So, we are talking today about 3 myths about being successful in this industry. So 3 common myths about being successful in this industry. And I'm going to get right on with it. So the first myth is that the people who are best at what they do and know the most have the most success. Now, this absolutely should be true, shouldn't it? That, the people who are the best at what they do make the most money, get the most clients. But in this industry, just like other industries, of course that's not true, because just because you're amazing at what you do doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to find you. And we can think of loads of examples of people in the birth and baby industry that are absolutely killing it. They're doing so well. And actually, the quality of what they offer is a lot less than the person that might be struggling for bookings. And why is that? Well, because they're blooming good at marketing. They're blooming good at promoting their services, And perhaps they're putting a hell of a lot more effort into the promotion side rather than the actual content and the actual thing that they are offering. Now, I am not here to tell you to follow that. I am a great believer that we need both. We need both. We need to be both good at what we do and we need to be great at promoting it. Because ultimately, I believe that for our own well-being, our own emotions, like knowing that we are offering a half-assed service is not going to make us feel good. It's not going to make us sleep well at night, And also, I really see that in this industry, if we can do both, we really get that real best of both worlds, that we are getting this stream of clients that are coming from our past clients. That means even if we are not able to market our services as much, we have got this lovely stream of clients coming from word of mouth. And that is because we are good at what we offer. Okay. So to bust that myth, no, It's not about being the best at what you do. It's not about knowing the most that makes you have the most success. So this can be quite comforting if you do ever feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know enough. I don't know enough to be doing this. Oh my gosh, that person round the corner, they are so much more cleverer than me. It's remembering that actually, that isn't necessarily the thing that means we will have that success. Let's go on to myth number 2. Myth number 2 is that you need to be absolutely killing it on social media, getting tons of likes, having tons of followers to run a successful birth or baby business. Well, of course, this is a huge myth, and I actually know of some very big Instagram accounts that, are not the ones that are getting all the clients, And I know of other people that aren't even on social media that have a healthy stream of clients. So please remember that social media is just one way of attracting clients. And I do think in this day and age that we are in, it makes absolute sense having a presence on social media. But that doesn't mean that you need to be on there every day, that you need to be dancing around, talking on camera all the time. You can be. And yes, there are people having success through that, but that doesn't mean it's the only way to success. In actual fact, being successful on social media, if you are using it as a strategy, is actually less about likes, is less about the number of followers, and more about the connection that you are creating with the people that are following you. So for example, you could have an Instagram account with 50 followers and, you are constantly having conversations in the DMs, the messages, you are so much more likely to get bookings than the person with 10,000 followers that are getting, 600 likes on a reel, but never gets anybody interacting, People are loving it for entertainment, but they're never going that next step. They're not even clear what you offer. Okay. We're going to stop for a quick break, and when I come back, I'm going to share the final myth, it's a juicy one because it's all about price. I shall see you back here in a moment. See you soon. If you've ever considered training to become a hypnobirthing teacher yourself, I have the perfect opportunity for you. This January, I am hosting a free 3-day free training just for you. This training will help you explore what being a hypnobirthing teacher is like, what you actually do, how to be an incredible one, and how to attract clients. We start on the 27th of January for 1 hour each day. Finishing our training on Wednesday the 29th, you will learn so much, leave so inspired, and really importantly, have clarity on this rewarding path. If you'd like to reserve your spot, please do save your space. In the show notes, you'll see the link there, or come over to my Instagram and DM me free training and I'll send you all the details. I'd love to see you there. Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with me. So we are talking about the myths about being successful in the birth and baby industry. So firstly, we talked about how It is not the case that the people who are the cleverest and the best at what they do get the most clients and are the most successful. We also talked about the myth that it is not about how many followers you have on Instagram or any other social media platform or how popular you look on there. In actual fact, success from social media often comes from the connection with those followers and how actually, my goodness, social media is one of many, many tools. There are many, many different ways of getting clients. And yeah, like there are lots of people doing so well that have a very little or no presence on social media. Our final myth is this, and it's a juicy one. You have to price competitively to be successful in this industry. This is a big myth. And what I mean by this belief that you have to look at what everybody else is charging in your particular industry, your particular niche. So if you're a baby massage teacher, you're looking at all the local baby massage teachers. If you're a hypnobirthing teacher, you're looking at all the other hypnobirthing teachers in your area and you're like, right, I need to be competitive in my price. You know, this person is at the top end, this person's at the bottom. Oh, I need to present myself as being so good value, so I'm going to go quite low, and that's going to mean that I have the most success. And this is a really common myth, and it's a big one, you know. I truly know from my own experience running a business for the last decade and from what I've seen from others in the industry, those that I've mentored, those that I've trained, that it is very, very rarely about price that makes people book, you know. Most people that have decided they are going to do something, so whether that is get support in terms of their baby's sleep, or whether it is going on a lovely pregnancy retreat, or whether it is going to a lovely baby class, if they've decided they're going to do that, it is very unlikely that they are going to just choose the cheapest. They're not just making their decision based on price. And in some cases, where they see that the price is really low, it can actually subconsciously turn them off straight away. Because there can be this assumption that the person who is charging a lot less or who has hugely discounted their offerings isn't as good as the people that are not doing that and that are charging more. I know that that is an assumption that I often make, even when I'm buying products, you know, never mind when I am taking services. Plus, please remember that if you are not getting the amount of bookings that you want, it's unlikely to be because your price is not right. It's likely, if I can get my words out, it's likely to be that people aren't seeing your service. Firstly, they don't know it's there. And secondly, they don't clear enough know that it's what they're looking for. They don't know with as much clarity and certainty that what you offer is the thing for them because you've not quite explained it right, you know? So being competitive in your pricing is not going to overcome those things. And if we believe that it's all about price, we're doing ourselves a huge disservice. Because not only are we undervaluing the wonderful things that we are offering, we're going to think, like, oh my God, I'm charging this and I'm still not getting people. That means nobody wants this thing. When actually there's so many other things that you can tweak. Now, I know you might be listening to this and you might be thinking, oh, but it's so much easier just to tweak the price. Yeah, it is. But actually, if you want long-term success, it's really thinking about the bigger picture. It's really thinking about how you communicate what you offer and how you are getting it seen by people. And I know if you're quite new to business, that can feel like a lot to deal with. And, that's why at Love Your Birth, when we train new hypnobirthing teachers, we incorporate so much marketing support into our training because we know this is the thing that so many people struggle with, It's new to them. They've never run a business before. It may even feel a bit icky presenting services when they've never had to shout about themselves and what they offer. And that's why we provide so much support in that area. Okay. So please remember that it's absolutely a myth that you have to be competitive with your price. And I know you might be sat here and you might think, oh yeah, but I know of that service that is so cheap and they get tons of bookings. Okay. Also ask yourself that question. Is the price the only thing that is motivating those people to go with it? Or are they also really good at being visible? Really good at presenting what they offer really well? So if I take the hypnobirthing niche, for example, I know that immediately people will say to me, oh, but I know people can do an online course for between 30 and 40 quid. And, people who are offering that are doing really well. Not all people who are offering that are doing really well. There are certain companies that offer that and do really well. And they're also spending tons on advertising. They're also employing people to work on their marketing. So please take that as your sign that it isn't about the cheap price tag that is drawing people to that service. It's the other things. So you, with perhaps not a budget to spend, thousands a year on ads, can absolutely do this yourself without being stingy to yourself with how you're pricing your course. It's a big myth. You do not need to be competitive with how you're pricing your service because, my goodness, what you offer, no doubt, is very different to what those cheapos are offering, So do not compare yourself to that. Your clients won't be, as long as you communicate how blooming good what you offer is and you get it in front of those people that need your service. So I would love to know what your number one takeaway has been from this episode today. So do come over to my Instagram at loveyourbirth_training and come and share with me your number one takeaway. And I shall see you next time for another episode of Rockabye Revenue. Speak to you soon. Bye. Thank you for listening to Rockabye Revenue. I hope this episode has left you with some fresh ideas and bundles of motivation. If you enjoyed this episode, do make sure you click subscribe so you never miss an installment. And if you found this episode useful, I'd love you forever if you leave a 5-star review, helping this podcast reach the ears of more of the helpers in this world. And remember, keep changing lives. See you next time.